Hey guys, it's me again, Orixler. What if swear? Well, I just finished the What If Bell Had the Ability to Take Souls. I'm sorry if that one was kinda short, but I just really couldn't come up with that much of a backstory for his, abilities and such. And don't think I didn't try. I kinda actually spent hours on trying. I'll, just sit there for, an hour or two, thinking of, how could I do this? But I really couldn't think of anything. Because I really couldn't give him the story of Artorias. I did give him a, not tragic, but somewhat tragic backstory. Give him his abilities, set him off with, certain plots and such. Sure, maybe I could have done something, but nothing really that could come to mind. Sure, I could have, I had him protect people when his village was getting attacked, but I couldn't have that done a second time, I thought. So, anyways. But anyways, to get back to this will be, what if Deku was a fallen? Yes, I know, I'm continuing this on, but before you not watch this, please, I know there's some of you who want, the one guy, what if Deku was an orc? And I've been actually thinking of a good story for that. It won't be like the orcs from, I'm pretty sure, Warhammer 40k, the one you're wanting. But he will be an orc. He would be similar. I'll be, taking a bunch of things like World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, what is it? Yeah, just all those and just smashing them together. Try to create something. Safi Jiva. I got an idea planned out, and I've been cultivating that one as well. The next Bell, what if? I saw someone, what if Bell was an angel? And I will be doing what if Bell was a gladiator. So maybe I can combine the two. If you see what I mean. Later on, you'll know. Sanguineous. But anyways. Where he last left off, let's see. He took some of Tanix's arms. Nana Shimura is a hunter. I believe so. Is a hunter. Deku has a catch. Several hundred fallen. Quite a lot of people under his command. Toga, Kirishima are captains. He's a very good mercenary. He has House Stags, House of Lions, and House of Jaguars. There we go. The House of Bulls are no more. He has deals with the city. He does odd jobs with the Fur the Reef, the Awoken, and all of them. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? No, I do not think so. So, to continue off where I last left off, I believe I just stopped where... I think it was right after, or a little after he got done talking with the Marasov. Got done talking with Marasov about the whole why he didn't become a Kel when he had the chance. And he gave a pretty good reason. Satisfied them. So, got my eyes. But as I continue forward, Deku and them Deku will be sleeping in his bed. He has a giant bed, considering how big he is. They took several mattresses and just put him there. So, as he's doing that, he wakes up again, Toga's there, so they are the thing. Kirishima and Minar thing. Your three are forever alone, or whatever. So, again, as he's wake up, he's like, huh? No. Puts on his armor, and all that, and everything, and he walks off to his little bridge, and he's just like, oh, you guys go get some rest. As he's taking command, sort of looking through, making sure everything's running smoothly. And then once it gets to a certain time, he wakes him up, boom, and all you welcome. Like after like an hour, he like gets everyone up. He's like, "Well, it's time to get up, everybody. Lots of stuff to do today. So chop chop." Night crew, Sora wakes up. Well, Sora goes to sleep, and then day crew comes out. It's like, we got some of the same old, same old. We'll have some assassinations, some cargo delivery, so on and so on. So, now we'll cut to Nana Shimura. She, by this point, mostly is like a week forward, and has sort of talked about how she has killed an Archon, retaken the satellites, not killed Sepix Prime, but realigned satellites, did a few of the other minor, like, mission quests on the Earth. So now will come Moon. She goes along and does the things with the Moon. She runs into House Exile, and meets the Exo Stranger. Now, that's where I'll leave that off. Deku and his team in this meantime has been working diligently with the Awoken and such. Well, not the Awoken, but he's actually been hanging out with some of the other colonies that he's helped sort of little establish their little footholds. He's been helping with a bunch of the other houses, like little schemes, I guess. The devils are, now that they've lost an Archon, are running around trying to find a way. They need to protect Sepix Prime. But since there's no leader anymore, the only thing that really resembled a leader, which was the Archon, who was the only one who can communicate with a Prime servitor. They're like, oh god, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So they're running around like headless chickens. And so the team, Ida, Momo, and Suyu all are sent out to deal with it. At this point, the House of Devils sort of say, oh god, what do we do? What do we do? So as they're freaking out, one of them who has had Deku's crew do missions for them in the past, they contact him like, do. He's like, yes, we need you to come take Sepix Prime and get them out of here. He's like, excuse me? Guardians, they're coming. Without Sepix, our house will die. So as he's thinking about this, he's like, moving in to assist. He literally sends, like, he actually comes with his catch. Sepix is being escorted. I'll say there was, like, an extra Guardian team, like, the two Guardian, like, Sato, Bakugo, Todoroki, Monoma, Jiro, and Endeavor, all were there. They see in the sort of Prime Servitor making a run for it, and so they're like, Chase! They're using the rocket launchers, like a rocket launcher, heavy machine gun, snipers, hand cannons, and a few of their grenades. So Sepix manages to teleport to a safe area, then it just starts blasting with the Devil's fighting tooth and nail, trying to save it. Deku's like, we've come into system. As if all of them are reporting on this, like, massive thing moving in. It's the House of Panthers. Deku sends, like, waves, not waves, but several little things, like, and just starts blowing up the Guardians. He, like, he's actually out there at the front. He, like, literally is the first one down. He tells the catch to, like, sort of land somewhere so that way the Prime Servitor can get on board safely. He has, like, the cannons on his, like, catch going. Sato throws up a bubble shield to, like, defend themselves. Endeavor, like, sees the giant like Deku and his, like, how, since Deku is about the size of a Kel at this point, or even just panics, he like sees him as he like jumps down like as he stands up. I'll say that Deku does have similar armor and such. Like, sure, his armor is kind of different, but it still marks him as like the little leader. And Endeavor can like look at them. He's like, "It's him." As they look at him, he's like, "Don't shoot." As like I'll say some of them understand it. It's like, "You will not kill Prime." And they're like, "The Panther," as like they like call it in, "The Panthers are working with the devils." Like, what? Why? I don't know, but we need to get out of here and kill them. So as Ida and all of them, and Suyu, again, Suyu just like, "Hey, hang on a second," and just looks through her scope. It's like, "Oh, come on, it's him again." Deku's like ordering his crews and such, like fan out. He has them in like little squads. Dobby's set up, like some of Dobby's mortar teams have set up. Kaminari's things are like, and I'll say they had a few squads of frames supporting them. So it isn't just them all huddling in a bubble. They're all like spread out like. Soon enough, like, they sort of call in reinforcements that this thing needs to be taken down. So Deku's fleet, not Deku, yeah, Deku's like thing on the ship. They're like, "Sir, we got inbound ship signatures. Who are they?" It's like, "City. They're with the city." He's like, "Release flyers. Destroy them." So, and at this point, Sepix Prime is in rough shape. It's like almost dead. So Deku's like several, like dozens of skiffs and like little fighter craft, I would say, that he has some. He has some of those, and you're just flying up. Just. He even has the spider tank, like in like the little gapway, so it's just like blasting out at Endeavor in them. Endeavor's like, "We gotta push forward." Sato's like, "We can't. We're pinned down." Then as they hear that, Deku's catches shields start taking a pounding. Sepix has almost made in, then like with one lucky shot, Sepix Prime is down. They're like, "Oh, dang it, get moving." As they like get up and they're like, "Go, go, go, go." As he's like pulling his forces back while using the ships and all of them to cover their retreat, he contacts the devils. "Sepix is down. Dang it. You said there's one team, not dozens. Not like 3. He's like, "What? There's more?" As they're like freaking out about this, Deku's like, "We'll take the remains. You can repair them later." So as they're like backing away, just firing, he's been using his torch cannons, and Suyu and all of them like are rushing towards Deku, and Deku's like little guard, I guess, because he does have a personal bodyguard that isn't made up of all of them. The Panther Shadows, or whatever. Panther Shadows were the assassins. Panther's Fangs, or Wrath, were like Kaminari's, like elite forces, so I guess, I don't know. Whatever it would be for the Panther to be protected by. But anyways, they're just like Panther's guard. So as they're like covering him and like rushing forward with him, they're pretty big. Even for like some of them, they're like on the same level as the rest of his like Mina, Kaminari, Dobby, and Twice. They're on the level of them, but they still are considered lower because, well, they really haven't been there as long as like the original, so they're his inner circle, and they're sort of chosen out of the strongest to be like his personal guard. So as they're retreating, Endeavor bursts out like charging at Deku, like, "Oh!" He uses his hammer of soul to try and fling it. One of the Panthers sees this and like jumps in front of it, gets blasted away. Deku sees this. He rushes forward, grabs Endeavor, slams him down, and crushes his head like as he's like using his scorch can to just level like the remaining. As the rest of the troops that have fallen, the Panthers and such that have fallen, they take them, like the forces around them take them up and just retreat with them. Now as they have Sepix's like remains, core, and the like fallen or the dead Elixni, they literally just rush back to ships and like several, like one of Deku's skiff and a few fighters went down for Deku, but city forces that were flying those planes suffered worse losses and such. So they're like, oh, we lost a lot just to take down that servitor. Hope it was worth it. Even I think it's Amanda Holiday. She was actually there flying a bit, and she say the pilots for the Panthers are pretty good. Some of them almost got me a few times. So as they're saying this, like, Zavala, Cade, and all of them are like having a meeting. He's like, meeting now. So as they're like discussing, well, what he's working with the devils. He's like, he's working with every single house there is. And when he didn't work with was with Tanix. They're like, but why? Well, and the kings, but the kings don't talk to anybody. So as they're like discussing amongst themselves, they're like, what do we do? I don't know. Like, it could be one thing or another, so I don't know. So as they're like talking amongst themselves, Endeavor like, not Endeavor, the other are also talking with them, saying that, listen, we gave you a lot. Some of the guardians that were in our areas, we gave to you to help you out. We have to redistribute them. You took out Sepix, that you accomplished your goals, but right now we're fighting on different fronts. Several smaller houses seem to be banding together. Our banding together. It seems a Kel, like a run up of a Kel is like uniting all of them or something like that. If we don't stop them now, if we don't try to hamper their sort of thing, they may actually end up becoming a significant problem for us. You won't just have the devils and kings killing each other over Earth. We'll have a new house. What's this house's name? We don't know. We just know that a bunch of other fallen have started dying, and other houses are disappearing. So either they're getting reabsorbed and being put into stealth operations, or they're just flat out joining devils or something. We don't know. They're like, could it just be, I don't know, a hive or something? Like, if the hive are taking out houses this quickly, there's a bigger problem than we thought. But Eris says she hasn't really heard or whatever. She says she doesn't really think it's the hive. Because we've gone to a few bases. This is fallen on fallen that are killing each other. But the only bodies we see are that of the house that was defending the position. Nothing else. No other bodies. This could be troublesome. So as this is happening, Deku and them are like... Deku's talking with the Baron. Or one of the priests or whatever. And just talking with them. I failed to get him. I'm sorry. Sepix was... They're like, no. Some of them try to jump on the fact that he didn't do what they're paying for. That he was paid to do. Sort of like a really quick contract and such. He's like, we lost this prime servitor. He's like, with time you guys can rebuild it. He's like, it takes years to rebuild a prime servitor. Our reserves aren't good enough. sure, the smaller servitors will help us keep afloat, but then it's another thing, like, where the houses will, like, many of the young and such will perish, because the prime servitors are no more. Deku's, like, asking how much, like, he says he can help out areas that would, like, have the most, like, little ones, and help them, like, focus on keeping their numbers up. So they give him some numbers, and he's like, alright, we'll be bringing in a bunch of salvage and such for you guys to process and such. So, that's exactly what they do. They go and just start processing a bunch of, like, bringing a bunch of stuff for them to process and turn into ether. They're having to bring in a lot, because the House of Devils is very big, as far as we know. It's, like, massive. Like, one of the biggest. Sure, maybe not strongest, but one of the biggest. And he's, like, ensuring that they have as much salvage as they can possibly put together without, like, draining their own supplies and such. And I'll say that Deku was again called to the, like, House of Exiles. It was the, like, ones he had like, made deals with before, and they talked about how they would how they needed more weapons and ether. He says he can't do ether, but he can do weapons just fine. And so he runs over there, gets all that done. She talks about what's the deal, no ether this time. He's like, no. House of Devils, prime servitor, dead. Need salvage, I bring. Will not have many young die again. So as this is said, she understands and such. Because she was also once, if I remember correctly, House of Devils. So she understands the situation. It's like, how did it happen? He gives the whole rundown of how the whole thing played. When, unlike others, she's like, you did your best. Went to the front lines yourself. Others would have just hid away. But he saved them. You are helping them. Others would have abandoned. And he says, I've already abandoned one. And I'm back. Something happened. But anyways, where I last left off is Deku's talking with this Baroness of the House of Exile, and she doesn't give him the same shit that the other ones did. She sort of understands that with the whole situation, 9 guardians bearing down on him, she sort of understands that that's a situation no Fallen wants to be in, Kel or not. It's a pretty bad situation. It took several houses to quite literally take down hundreds. One little, it's like essentially like the Space Marines. Like 5 of them could take on like dozens of normal people. Seriously, it's ridiculous. But he continues forward and they go on. He delivers the weapon and yada yada yada. This time no hive come out like, yeah, let's kill things. Woo, sword logic. Also, Crota best. But at one point, they are going through a thing, and Deku does get more whiff of more technology, salvage, and possibly some, golden age technology that can be put to use. Deku hears about this like, ooh, that sounds great. So as he, goes with his personal team, Suyu and all of them are, at a bar table like, dang it, he got away. Again. And again, he gets away. Why? Is it so much that I just want to kill him? Like, he's the smartest fallen out there, and the Vanguard aren't doing anything. Like, you know what? We're gonna put a team together. Gonna hunt him myself if I have to. Took so many people's lives. But he really hasn't killed any of the Guardians, though. He doesn't really possess any mean to do so. He can't kill Ghost. Only Guardians and other things like us can do that. He has nothing he can do. It's just stupid at this point. It took thousands of Fallen to kill like couple hundred Fallen. It would take a lot more to kill us. He doesn't have the numbers or anything to hold out an entire fight. Maybe with one Guardian he could do it. But with 9, I'm pretty sure, like I heard that he has like only 700, maybe even. And that's not including Scratch that. He could totally kill us. Oh God. No God. But anyways, why is he killing us then? Maybe he doesn't want to, is what Sato thinks. Like, maybe he just doesn't have the want or need. Suyu and the other hunters are, like, talking about this, like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I think something should be done. Sato is, like, on the fence about it. Todoroki's pretty chill. Bakugo, I think I said was a hunter. Like, pretty much the entire group of hunters. Suyu, Bakugo, and except Todoroki. Todoroki doesn't see this whole point in trying to hunt him down, because he's had ample opportunity to quite literally take out, and he has, before taking out teams of, like, more teams of FOTC, and he has annihilated quite a few of them just because they attack him first, because shoot first, ask questions later is sort of how the FOTC, the Guardians, and all of them have had to develop with how the Fallen have been acting for several hundred years. Which I'm pretty sure it has been several hundred years since the entire collapse and such. So, Fallen have been doing quite a lot, so they sort of have to assume the worst. But as they continue on, they sort of like decide that, alright, he's gotta be taken care of. But we gotta get a time when he's by himself. Only time when we're gonna be able to do that. And they brought it up to, like, they didn't bring it up. They're like, realized that maybe he has some sort of deal with the Vanguard. Like, that could be a thing. Like, some of the colonies that really can't get as much support, I have been receiving some supplies from some allies, quote unquote. So, we'll stake him out, ensure that everything's good, and then, like, at this point, Nana Shimura has cleared that, like, pretty much, I'll say it's another week or so past. This week is eventful. Nana Shimura has still gone through the moon, clearing out all the little missions and such. Ida's also on the line of why not Ida, Suyu, Bakugo, Monoma, Endeavor, and anyone else. Momo's pretty cool. Ida is probably on the line that he could be a danger, similar to Zavala. Zavala is the one sort of on the fence about it, like they could just straight up kill him. Cade is more cool because he's had interaction with friendly Fallen before. Zavala, like, it's on the rest of them that really haven't. So, it's pretty even. Some of them are, like, indifferent, while some of them think, well, if he is friendly, we should do it. But if he does show hostilities, we should end it. Deku doesn't, like, sort of... He does not, like, say eliminate the officers of the FOTC and such. He's just like, we'll try to avoid them best we can. We start getting on the city's radar, we're done. They can kill if they send. Sure, we may be tougher, but still, that doesn't stop anything if they send out several hit squads. Seriously, cows have been literally singled out by a single guardian and killed them single-handedly. Have none of you noticed that? And they're like, well, you're kind of right on that part, so what should we do? He's like, listen, what we'll do is that you all will... And he sort of gives an explanation to why they don't really attack the FOTC and such. To some of the fallen of his crew that aren't as trustworthy, but most of them typically are. So, yeah, you know. So, the ones who go out and supply the colonies are sort of like... Oh, I'm sorry. Sort of like hush-hush operations and such. That's their sort of speciality. I don't know if you could hear me, but I said that the ones who go out there are sort of specialities and such. But anyways, continuing forward. Deku, like, goes to Mars. Seems like a good place to go. So, the Guardians sort of get a whiff of this after, like, seeing all the fallen skiffs and such go. They, like, attach a tracker to it, and Deku actually brings his entire thing. They keep it, like, very stealth-like and such to, like, avoid the Cabal. Because they're like, oh, let's see. They sort of pinpoint the location to get a rough estimate of what it was. And so they, like, go down there. Deku and the Panther Shadows. Kaminari's groups set out first, like, keep an eye out. Like, they sort of scout the area, then they send in the Panther Shadow to sort of stealthily go around it. Toga reports in that their forces have searched around the complex, nothing strange. Kaminari says we haven't seen any Cabal, and they've sort of monitored, I guess, have a way to, like, monitor the air things. They say we haven't heard any Cabal chatter. They got high-class technology, like top tier. So, and they bring up the fact that no Vex signals either. This part of Mars is dead. So they're like, all right, wall land, come. Deku brings everybody, not everybody. He leaves Dobby. Twice and Mina are there, Kaminari and Toga are there. They're like all scouting out the area. He's like, find everything. He brings Kaminari, like I said, if I remember correctly, to like come down because he's the tech man, sort of. When it comes to like technology and such, he's sort of like their Archon priest or whatever you want to say. They go around and they're like, And so as Kaminari's going through some of the databases that are somehow still operational after they've set up like a crude power source that's able to power certain areas, then that's when the reports are as like some, like, I guess Dobby's like reporting down, hey, Deku. It's like, yeah, what's up? Yes, Dobby. He's like, we're getting some movement. Could be and they've set down their base. So it's like, we don't know what it is. Could be the Cabal or Vex. I've dispatched some scouts. None of them have seen anything yet. Then it's just like out of nowhere, they're here. Several ships come running down. It's like, it's the Cabal! The Cabal are here! And they're sort of saying, what? Oh god. As they're like running through, they're like, what legion is it? We don't, let's see. It looks like standard thing, few sand eaters, dust giants, and as they say this, there's the Blind Legion! The Blind Legion! Now, if I remember correctly, the Blind Legion are scalpels, if I remember correctly. Is that they actually do have speciality which comes to Vex, but I'm not entirely sure on that. I heard that from My Name is Bife, but It could be that they are that, as well as being their scalpel when it comes to certain operations. The Cabal keep like a tight shift running, so any power sources, anything like that, they did get unnoticed. But then they like sort of noticed like the power surge that happened, like certain areas were like powered up. So Cabal, Phalanxes, Legionnaires, Centurions. The Dust Giants make up like the bulk. I'll say there's about 100 Dust Giants. Not Dust Giants, Sand Eaters. 30 Dust Giants and like several, like maybe like a dozen Blind Legion. With Brachus commanding them, sort of. They don't drop anything too heavy, just like the basics. I'll say they do have a Colossus and such that's like looking around. Sort of like if you don't know, the Colossus is sort of like a living tank, is how they're deployed. So they do have some heavy armor with them. So as they're like setting this up, they're like Deku's telling Toga and such, like set up a perimeter and such. Kirishima's forces are running around setting up little pinpoint ambushes spots. So they're like hoping that they won't have to fire, because they know that, I'll say they landed with, I'll say maybe 300 to 400 of their forces. They have enough to like defend their ships, and if it comes down to it, they could hold a space battle with like 1 or 2 Cabal ships. Because I'm pretty sure the Cabal have quite a few ships, considering they are legions and control an entire planet. Unlike the Fallen, who like hold scattered outposts and such, I'm pretty sure, but you know what I mean. But they continue forward. Deku's like, oh. So he has them like all setting up perimeters. They're like, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. As they're running around setting up their positions. I'll say they do have like, they did bring some equipment to like set up like a, sort of like an operation post, I guess is a way to say it. Like, he wanted to not set a foothold, but like, Mars is like where the Brays, like if you don't, Brays were like the smartest people. They created Rasputin. So they come up with the idea, well, it would probably be smart to have out like a base, like somewhat of a base of operations. So that way they can probably try to find more tech that would also assist them. Now here comes the part they're like, we found them, we've tracked them. So as they like find, they're on Mars. Why are they doing on Mars? He's like, well, the Cabal, maybe the Cabal would yield them. And like, nah, we gotta do this. It would just give them a chance to like test their tactics on the Cabal, make them even more dangerous. So as they like rationalize this, the Cabal leading this is a Centurion, I guess, like a Brachus. And he's walking around shouting at them like, find out, sweep the building. We got energy spikes around here. Now forward! So they split off into like their separate teams. Squads of Legionnaires are moving about. Scions and all that. They're moving about doing their thing. Deku, before, is like questioning, should they try to speak? Like communicate? But they realize that the Cabal are smash first, not just shoot first. They will obliterate first, ask questions later. They not even ask questions. So he like gets ready to like have the firing, like the team with like, guess, weapons teams, assassins, all of them like ready to jump out at once. And out of nowhere, some of the Cabal who are outside like shout like in their whatever language it is, I don't know, Cabal language, and they shout it out like, Guardians or Deadmen inbound. As they say this, like the Brachus like rushes out there with, not the Brachus, but he sends out the Colossus with dozens of Legionnaires and Phalanxes to like hold off this, I guess, 4-man Guardian team with a few squads of FOTC. No, not a few squads. Just like one squad, like 3 squads of frames to like sort of play their part. So the frames are firing, drawing the attention of the Cabal, while Endeavor's like using his grenades and solar, and all of them are doing their thing. The Brachus is freaking out. Deku's like talking with Kaminari. They're like, we found some tech, very high quality. So as Deku's like, alright, we'll pull back. So as they like start to pull back, the Deku radios in, sort of using the comm and such to like tell who, I forget who I left at the ship. Not Kaminari. Dobby, that's who I left there. Dobby wasn't there. Dobby and Twice, he contacts them, telling them to like, get the ships ready, we got the information and some tech that may be useful. Also, it's like a power source. Something that, similar to like a golden age generator that could help them produce a lot more ether and such. The city didn't know about this, but the Guardians are there researching, and they start going toe-to-toe with the Cabal. The Brachus sort of does the whole not rushing out, but holding positions and such. It's a bit of a slog, with the like 4-man Guardian team bashing through the Cabal's defenses, with the Cabal even bashing even harder. But anyways, Deku and his like team, like several hundred fallen, somehow, like, I'll say they do get, some of the teams and such get caught up in the falling. Like, some Cabal are like, hey, the fallen! Or the elixir, or whatever they would call them. Or in the system, the Brachus says, stop focusing on them, kill the dead men! As the fallen and all the, well, as Deku's team, like, little house or crew just abandons and just gets picked up by the skiffs. After, like, the Guardians break through the defenses quite a bit, and then they see Deku and his, like, Deku as he, like, gets up, he, like, turns back and just goes, and just jumps up, like, we lost him again! No, forget about it. It seems like they got power started. They didn't, they're like, they got the power on, let's see if and they turn it off, let's see if we can get it on. So as they get all that done, they, like, sort of take a load off. After fighting their way to, like, a control room or whatever. They look it up and they're like, some interesting stuff here. Deku's questioning, like, how did they find us? Like, I'm not complaining that they did, but how did they? So he orders that each ship is, like, checked. And they found the little tracking thing that was placed on them. Because if I did not say so, I'm pretty sure I said that they sort of stocked some of these new colonies. Or like little outposts, and like put a tracking thing on it, so they find it and destroy it. They're like, check every ship, and they have every ship looked over. Now that the Fallen died, they just like had to pull out their resources very quickly, and they weren't able to collect some of the Cabal weaponry. Like Deku would have loved to have the Colossus heavy slug thrower, because if you put that on like a gunship, or if you put that like on a ship, or even something similar to a helicopter, you're essentially firing micro rockets just that could shred through armor. So he's like, that's a bit of a loss, but oh well. He's like, Cabal have useful weaponry. It'd be good to hunt some of them down and take their gear, but they continue forward. As Deku radios into Kel, he's like, Kel of Lions. It's like, yes, we bring great bounty. So as they say, they found a golden age generator. And saying that no fallen shall die of ether today. For the next, like, decade, several years. It's what Deku essentially says, is they're like, good, and as they're in like a massive celebration, like, yeah, like claps all around and such. And the Guardians report their findings to this. They don't talk about how they tracked Deku. They just said they tracked some of the the House of Panthers transports, and found them snooping around a Braytex facility. They're like, what? So as they like pull up the information, as well as looking through it, they notice there was a golden age generator there. And they're like, we already searched the area, they took it. Or it was taken some other time, but it's gone. So they're like, why would they need that? And Samal, like Sloan says in the original, says, well, if they hook it up to one of their servitors, they can, like, triple ether production. Like, sorry, sir, we couldn't get there in time. He's like, no, it's fine. It's too late now. Do you still have that tracker on their ship? No, we don't. Seems like they found it or destroyed it or something. Deku said, like, they're having Deku, and they're like, oh. Anyway, turn you back over to the Vanguard in this section. I guess it will be the Japanese section or some other place. Why not America? Because I'm pretty sure the city takes place somewhere in Russia. So this could be like in America or something. All right. And so they speak and such about this, and they're like, yeah, this... They're turned back over to, like, their Vanguard, and they say, sorry that we weren't able to do them. Like, the rest of them already went back, but they're like, Endeavor's still frustrated. He's even more so. Suyu's even more so. All of them are even more so frustrated that they couldn't catch Deku. So, they get all that done. And Deku and all of them are having a celebration. Like, the Kel is, like, having this celebration, like, for Deku. Like, they're like, yeah. Sort of like, several dregs, I guess, are starting, again, to, like I said, they sort of view him as this, like, Chelsix reborn and such. So, yeah. Some of them are starting to look up to him like he's Chelsix 2.0 and that he will lead their house. Some are saying like I've said before, Kel of Kells is what some of them are starting to name him as. That maybe he's the Kel of Kells that they've been looking for. That will fulfill prophecy of House Rain. One day, Kel of Kells will unite all of houses, and Traveler will recognize them. Even Varix has, like, heard these stories from the Queen's Crows and such, so he's like, He's skeptical, because he says that he has no interest in leading. Others follow him of their own fruition, I believe is the word I'm using, I'm not entirely sure. And they follow him because they want to, not out of fear, but out of respect. He does what is best for the house, for the houses, young Elixir even. He does what is best for them. And as the Queen's like, yes, I heard he's been helping the devils with things after their prime servitors got destroyed. He's like, yes, even House Exile, they do deals with him as well. And at this point I say, another week has passed. So a lot is happening in this short amount of time. Nana Shimura has gone to Venus and done quite a few of the missions. So, yeah. This seems like a good part to end off. Thank you guys for watching. Hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life. Again, thank you for watching.